Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to today's inspiration. Today's inspiration is all about talking about one of my favorite bodies, our mental body, our mind. Rita, hello to you. Hello, beautiful to you. I already blushing. You got me blushing, Rita, and we just started. I know you all know me, so I know you know I'm always saying I'm excited about specific topics, but today I do love talking about our mind. I always consider us as four bodies, and I feel when I break down the four bodies, it helps us really understand, and I call it deconstructing the key lime pie. So we're getting straight into the key lime pie. So one of our bodies is our egoic body. Our egoic body is a very powerful body, and this is where we hold our identity and who we are and our beliefs about what we're here for, the bigger, what our connection is to spiritual, to God, to universe, whatever it might be. And our ego comes out when we're projecting an identity that we would like people to believe that we are. It might be what we are, but it's in contradiction of what we feel. So that was I noticed, because I've been seeing a lot of ego lately. Ego is always interesting to me, and I'm like, but it's a great ego, for example. But I'm like, what do I feel? And I'm like, oh, I feel somebody efforting to project what they feel they want to look like rather than what they really are. But I'm going too much into the ego, and then we're not discussing the ego today, but the ego body and where your beliefs and identity plays a key strong role. And I hope everybody got that and you like it. If you did, give me hearts and give me words. The mind. Now the mind, this is our processing, our logic. This is where we're thinking from. And our mind is actually the receiver for the beliefs, the egoic, the connection to spirit and God and universe. It's also the receiver of the emotions and the receiver of the physical body and our actions and what we are. So sometimes we are over attributing our activity of our mind, but it's actually the receiver, the processor of all four of our bodies. So we're unjustly saying that our mind is overactive because it's actually the translator for the four bodies. Do you guys like that? Do you get that? Or do you want me to talk more about that? Talk to me about that. Valerie, yes, I think it comes from my ego, my beliefs. And then I think about it and it's super negative. Fantastic. So if we start to deconstruct our key lime pie, so Rita said it's anxiety. So anxiety is an emotion. It's actually an emotion that we're not willing to acknowledge. It's fear that we're not willing to acknowledge. So when we realize that our mind feels anxious, like Rita is saying, or that Valerie is saying that my mind is just really overthinking, my egoic, and we break it down, we start to realize, ooh, it's not my mind, it's me turning off my ear and my connection to my other bodies. And my mind is actually the one that's saying, hey, he's saying something. She's saying something, she's saying something, she's saying something, until we're listening. Are you all liking this? How does that feel? How does that feel? Rita, let's talk about your anxiety or the anxiety that your mind is feeling. Let's talk about it. What is that fear? If I tell you anxiety is a fear that you're not willing to acknowledge, and everybody jump in. If you know what your fears are, if you know that you're having anxiety, jump in and share. So whenever I ask somebody a question, somebody answered, the question is for everybody. So what is the anxiety? What are the fears, Rita? What are the fears? Valerie, I feel like my mind is too negative. Fantastic, Valerie. And let me see what you see. Okay, you said that, and then you talked about for my beliefs. So let's figure out what I really like to do is recondition, reestablish everything to be empowering. So together with quieting the monkey mind, the real topic is really about empowering our four bodies. Today's topic really is empowering your four bodies, alignment of the four bodies, but we're leading with the mind because it's our bias for us to always criticize our mind. How does that feel? Who wants to feel empowered and who wants to be aligned? Hands up, hearts up. I'm seeing the activity. Okay, fantastic. Because you guys, I need to know that you're connecting. Okay. Sporty Jen. Hi, Manal and all. My inner critic doesn't know how to trust. Beautiful. Trust is coming at this level, you guys, the egoic level. This is the connection to bigger, that I am purpose. Who knows, and I've asked this many times, but I haven't asked it recently, who knows who is aligned with their purpose and who knows what their purpose is in life? And I want you all to know it's a bit of a trick question, okay? Trick question, especially for those that don't know me. It's a trick question. So who's aligned with their purpose and who is living their life's purpose? That's my question. Trust, loving it. Interpret, I got it, Sporty Jen, I got it. Rita, fear I'll be being on my own. Fantastic, Rita, fantastic. And then Rita, let me ask you, and everybody who also has the fears of being alone on your own, is it in the physical or is it in death? Is it, so I see being connected on our two bodies. It's our spiritual body connecting to bigger. So when I asked a question about purpose, this is connection to meaning. Why are we here? What are we doing? What are we here for? Do I believe in God? Do I believe in the universe? Do I believe in inner being? Do I believe in higher power? Do I believe in XYZ? Buddha, prophets, Jesus, Prophet Muhammad, whatever it might be. What do you believe in? And are these beliefs truly strong beliefs to your core? Or were they just told to you and you're not feeling them? And Rita says it's for her both. And it's also connection to the earth. Connection to self, connection to others, relationships. So Rita says for me both. Fantastic. So Rita, what we're going to do is work on this one or all of them. But step one is awareness. So Valerie, connection to self and others mostly. So what I always like to do is, again, deconstruct the key lime pie. Recognize what are the layers. So when we talk about connection, it's on both the layers. We might feel it more in the physical, but when we feel connected to bigger, we're connected on the physical. It's a yin and a yang. They complement each other in a beautiful way because our inner aligns with the outer. The inner world is where we get the connection, and then it aligns in the outer world. Okay, are you all with me? So I'm going to ask the question again. It's a trick question. So I don't know, because I said it was a trick question, nobody answered. Who is living their life's purpose? Who feels that they know that they're what their purpose is and living their life purpose? Who? Valerie, yes, I don't feel. Exactly. So the name of the game is not knowing, but feeling. Paz, beautiful. By textbook definition, I'm told I am beautiful, Paz. Beautiful, you are, but I don't feel it either. Just like Valerie said, yes, I don't feel that yet. Rationally, it's there, but emotionally, I can't connect with it. Fantastic. So together, we'll journey. And isn't it interesting that we're talking about the mind, and then all of a sudden, we get to purpose. But the truth is, we're all in alignment. So if I don't believe I'm living my life purpose, or maybe I do know that I am, but my emotional body doesn't feel it, there's lack of alignment. And so what's this thing going to do? It's going to be overly active because it's here processing the conflict, this is what I call, in Manal speak, it's called resistance. So the mind is going to say, oh, there's resistance. And the resistance is a gift. But many of us look at resistance as bad, and then we start putting resistance on resistance, which is all of the layers of resistance we're talking about. Oh my goodness, isn't this really interesting? It's 11 minutes in, and we've talked about all of the Mattain concepts already. Is this good, you guys? Is this good? Does everybody feeling good? Are we going too fast? Are you feeling good? How is everybody? See some hearts going. Nancy, I'm moving into my life's purpose. Have begun to take actions towards it. Fantastic. So the concept that I love is that we are our life's purpose. I have wasted so much time in my life doubting my alignment with my purpose that if I can save anybody a fraction of a second, I will feel so rewarded to let you all know we are our life's purpose. So instead of looking for purpose, the journey is aligning with the feeling of purpose. aligning with the feeling of purpose. Isn't that interesting? That instead of having to look around and say, what is my purpose? We realize that we are our purpose, and now our job is to feel it. Does that feel easier or harder? I've never articulated it like that. Does that feel harder or easier? I really love saying it that way. It really feels so good. It feels very empowering. Valerie, when did you start feeling that knowing, Manal? Valerie, I would say that it was a during. When did you start feeling that knowing, Manal? Okay, it's been a journey. It has been a journey. And only articulated it with such clarity maybe about a year ago when I started. I've been on the platform for almost a year now. So I think a year ago is when I was like very like, oh, I know this now. I intellectually know it. And then my life journey has been feeling it. So I have felt my purpose in the past, raising my children, and then I wasn't working, so my value would be off. But I was raising my children, and then I had to remind myself that this was my choice, and that I decided that I wanted to put my attention here in this box rather than this box, and I'd have to remind myself. So the feeling of that knowing, because of the person I have been, has been in and out as a function. So when I was in school and doing what was expected of me, I felt in alignment with my purpose. But then maybe during a transition period from my career to, from my being a student to career, there might be a what is my purpose, but then when I had a great job. So I guess, Valerie, the truth of that answer is really feeling it with such clarity, with the alignment, the intellectual alignment, the egoic alignment, the emotional alignment, the physical alignment, maybe in the last 3-6 months. But in my journey of life, feeling it at certain levels without the intellectual awareness, I would say my whole life I had feelings of it. Does that answer, Valerie, your question? And I would suggest that all of us have felt it and feel our purpose. And it could be a moment, and we might not even know it, but that's when we feel happy. We might be riding a bike. We might be out zip lining. I don't know why zip lining was on it there, but doing something. There might be swimming in an ocean, catching the wave. It might be surfing. I don't know how many of you surf. It might be eating. And that you just feel like, ooh, I feel so happy and life is just perfect. And if I die now, I am fully satisfied with the life I lived. Oh, if I die now, I know that I've lived my life's purpose. It's a feeling. So what we want to do is build on that feeling. So let me ask that question again. Do you all think it's easier to look for your life purpose or to recognize that your journey now is just feeling it? If you know it intellectually and you believe it egoically, it's about feeling it and knowing you're living it through feeling. I really would love some answers in there so you could direct me towards that. I would really love those answers. For me, just knowing that my journey is feeling it just feels so much more empowering, because it's like, oh, I know it. I might not always know it, but that's because of my natural conditionings, and anything that keeps me from it is a gift towards guiding me to truth. And so let me ask you all, what does it feel like to be aligned with your purpose? It's the same feeling when your mind is quieted. It's the same feeling. Valerie, I don't have any moments where I remember where I felt it. I do feel like where I am now, not working or studying, to focus on building a strong foundation is where I'm supposed to be, and it feels right. Fantastic, Valerie. And that's what the whole point is. Being aligned with your purpose has nothing to do with what you're doing externally. It has everything to do with how you're feeling internally. Everything to do with the internal. And the louder the external world is, the more that it's likely teaching you to go on in to calibrate internally. So what does it feel like calibrating internally? What does it feel? Sporty Jen, lately I feel like surviving, looking after myself, understanding myself is my life's purpose. It's all on the inside. Beautiful. And Sporty Jen, what does surviving mean to you? Because at first, like, surviving means like not thriving. But then the rest of what you defined, looking after myself, understanding myself, is my life's purpose. It's all on the inside, which is beautiful, which feels beautiful. I believe the external world is here is to teach us about our internal world. What is triggering you? What are you observing? How are you feeling? What aren't you feeling? What are you taking on? What is making you feel a certain way? And then you realize, oh, this is all about stuff inside that I need to clean up. We talk about cleaning up the attic, cleaning up the garage, cleaning up the kitchen, cleaning up whatever it might be. But the external world is teaching you what we need to clean up internally. Valerie, but I don't feel happiness or love often. And it makes me doubt everything I do. Fantastic, Valerie. So doubt, self-doubt. So Rita talked about anxiety and you talk about doubt. And doubt is lack of clarity, lack of just knowing. And so great, your job is to clear it up, clean up the window, clean up the lens. So you start to become more clear and clear and clear. And you don't need to feel happier or love. Well, let's calibrate to, what can we calibrate to? We want to keep calibrating higher and higher and higher, and recognizing we're going to look in to calibrate. We're going to look in to feel, what's the feeling that you want to feel then, Valerie? Everybody offer, what is it that you want to feel? What is it that you want to feel? Rita, I have to be very mindful about taking care of myself. Rita, I have to be very mindful about taking care of myself too. I am sometimes, and now less so, maybe because it's routine and it doesn't matter, but I'm living life in such a very mindful way to ensure that I feel good. And when I wake up not good, at feeling good, or during the day if I don't feel good, there is a host of questions that I ask myself. Something I ate? What did I eat? What did I eat today? What did I eat yesterday? What did I eat 2 days ago? How are my hormones? What are my hormone levels? Am I expecting something physically that's going on? How did I sleep? How was my sleep? I have an inventory of questions that I ask about my physical body, my emotional body, my mental body, and my egoic body until I come back to recognizing, oh, maybe this was the trigger. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and do my yoga. Tomorrow I'm going to make sure that I meditate, that I'm more mindful about my meditation on a daily basis because I like feeling good. So I am very purposeful and very activity driven about making sure I feel good in a very overly sometimes regimented way. Now it's becoming much more natural and so it's a choice for me to feel good. And the days I don't feel good, I spend a lot of time meditating. I spend a lot of time out there in the woods and walking. I spend a lot of time going inside and asking myself, where is this shame coming from? Why am I seeing this ego? Lately, like I said, I've been seeing ego in a very interesting way. And ego has always been part of my journey of seeing ego. I'm like, why am I seeing that ego? And why is that ego amplifying an insecurity with me? What is that saying, Manal? Where do you have to strengthen your muscle? Oh, I have to be compassionate. Oh, accepting. Oh, not taking it personal. Okay, good. I see that this is resonating. I work to feel good my whole life. It's something somehow that I was blessed with since I've been a child, of recognizing that it's all within me and it is choice. So what are the choices that you all make, and what are the choices that you want to make? And I still want to have the answer to that question. I don't know where it's in there yet, but is it easier to know that you have to find your purpose or know that you have to feel your purpose? What is easier? Sporty Jen, surviving feels like the negative side. Yeah, I thought so, but then everything after that you said was very positive. Inner critic who sabotages my progress. So maybe we can find another word, Sporty Jen, and really welcome another way to feel it rather than surviving. Living, flowing, exploring, looking, loving, living, journeying. I mean, camping is fun, but sometimes it's hard work. You got to put up the tent and you got to make a fire and you got to cook your fire and then go out in the outhouse, or maybe you go out in the woods and then go camping. But camping is a pleasure. It's a kind of pleasure. Life is pleasuring. Humaning is pleasure. Is there another word, Sporty Jen, than surviving? And how many people feel that they're surviving in life as well? How many people are feeling that you're surviving in life? Valerie, but I don't feel happiness or love. And I read that. Doubt, we talked about this. Rita, I have to be very mindful. Oh, there we go. I scrolled too much. Valerie, I do feel more present, more present. So the other day we did igniting our inner light, and we recognize that we're connected with our light when we're present. And actually our mind is not a monkey mind when we're present. Everything feels good when we're present. So it is all about being present. We just haven't used this word till Valerie introduced it now. It's that. Let's take a deep breath. And release. Now, how did that feel? Did that feel like $1,000,000? That's what presence is. Let's take another one because it just feels so good. And today I'm in a good mood. Sometimes when I'm in a good mood and I'm these inspirations, it's overwhelming because I just have this energy and I just know that I have to temper myself. But anyway, I'll try not to sing and I'll try not to let evil Manal come out. Okay, let's take another deep breath. And release. Paz, please don't be concerned about evil Manal. She's nice. She has a really great intention. She just sees the irony in life and sometimes uses it in a mischievous way. So evil Manal is really mischievous Manal. Okay? She's really not evil. But evil Manal laugh just came out. Okay, Valerie, breathing right now made me connect with some sadness. Interesting, fantastic, because there's something in there buried that's keeping you from the happiness and the love that you want, and now it's safe to feel. In this, with all of us together, with all of us connected, it's a really safe place to feel. And here we celebrate feelings, not as a disempowering way, not a woe is me way, but is a way of recognizing, ooh, I found a nugget of resistance. Ah, like Valerie said, so interesting. What does this resistance say? And what does it mean? And what should I get out? So how many people connected with resistance when you took your breaths? How many people recognize that there might have been something that was there that you weren't aware of when you took your breath? And Valerie, do you want to ask your sadness? What does it want to tell you? I think it's ready to go. And I think it just wants to be seen and recognized as a gift towards your journey. Everything we have felt in the past and everything we feel is guiding us towards our freedom and our liberty. And when we see it as a tool and as a gift and a calibration towards freedom, whew, how liberating it is. How liberating it is. We don't need to see sadness as bad. We don't need to see anger as bad. We don't need to see anxiety as bad. We need to see it as a clue to guide us towards our desires. How does that feel? How does that feel? So Valerie was saying, I do feel more present, so that's a win, but it doesn't. I think it's more so fear. Beautiful. Fear. I'm afraid I won't feel better. Fantastic that I'm not good enough. I'm not capable. I'm incapable. Fantastic. We all carry. It's human. I'm going to give you guys a big secret right here. It is human to feel incapable. It's part of our conditioning. It's part of our conditioning. And I think it's because we came in with all this light and this power. We came out these babies, and then the overworld, the external world, inundate us with this feeling of disconnection from our light, and then in there you don't feel capable. And our life journey is to reconnect with that light and to feel our connection. So it's human to feel incapable in life and to feel, I feel it, I felt it. And it makes me feel sad because I do my best and I think I'm not good enough. Fantastic. Well, guess what, Valerie? You are. And this isn't about me just telling you and efforting you. It's about us all feeling it together and journeying towards it. So fantastic, because step 1 is awareness, and becoming aware is the step towards 2, acknowledgement, and 3 is letting it go. Appreciation, then letting it go. But ultimately, it's the journey, the 5-step journey. I'll talk about the 5 steps in a second until I go through the comments. Okay, Valerie, yes, realizing I'm human. We're human, guys. We are human. If there's anybody not human in the room, just let me know, so I'll make sure that I am inclusive of everybody. But as far as I'm aware, despite some of those little profile pics that we going on and all the beautiful sayings and the animals and the pictures, we are human. If there's any non-humans, I will have Valerie with her little aliens. If there's any non-humans, let me know, because I'll speak to your non-human portion. But we are all humans. So it's natural to feel. It's natural to pick up conditioning. It's natural for our mind to sometimes feel like it's spinning out of control. It's natural for us to feel unaligned with our purpose. It's natural for us to feel incapable, and for us to feel we're like good enough and that we're struggling and suffering and life is hard. It's natural because we're all humans. And I think I said it one inspiration and it cracked me up. If you think I'm going to teach you how not to be human, don't be here. What I'm going to teach us is how to celebrate our humanness. It's one of my meditations, celebrate your humanness. I'm going to teach us how to do humaning from a place of empowerment. From a place of strength, from a place of alignment with our inner power. I see the heart, so I know it's resonating. That's what we're going to do together, okay? That is what we're going to do together. Okay, Valerie, I do feel more present, because that's a win, but it doesn't feel rewarding. Maybe it shouldn't be, and I have to accept what is, but then there's resistance. Fantastic. So it's the layers of resistance. The point is, once we become to be comfortable with the presence and with the now, nothing matters. Being happy, being sad, being angry, what's going on around us, how people are acting, nothing matters when you're present. Because when you're present, you're just with your body. But if your body, your emotional body, or your mental body, and you're early in your journey and you have a lot of resistance, being present is not necessarily going to feel good. That's why doing a lot of meditation or doing different activities which allow you to be comfortable in your body is the journey towards becoming present. And we've built up this resistance over a lifetime. We've built up this disconnection for our bodies from a lifetime. So let's just take the time that's best for our highest good to recalibrate with it. And we'll do it in fun. Like, does this feel good or bad? Everything we've been talking about, does it feel good or does it feel bad? That's my question. Valerie, I want to feel joy in the fact that I'm living. Fantastic. I want to feel joy in the fact that I'm living. I want to feel joy in life. I want to see joy in everybody's life. Okay, Nancy, I want to feel true to myself. Fantastic. I want to be authentic to myself. I want to see your truth. I want to see the beauty of your truth. I want to see your light. Nancy, I do see it. It's not that I want to, but I'm reiterating what you're saying. Yes. And I do feel your light. And Valerie, I feel your light. I feel your power. Paz, I used to be a very positive person. My job mostly sees negative, law enforcement. I now have to work at being a positive person and miss just being positive. Paz, you know what's really interesting? For a lot of my life, I was a positive person. And what I found out one day, that I was actually not radiating the truth of who I was. And I was really had this efforting of being happy and positive. And then when I realized and took off that layer, my happiness was stronger. So my egoic body, so interesting, I keep talking about the egoic body because it's been, like I said, I've been seeing it a lot lately. My egoic body was efforting being happy, being positive, seeing the sunny side of life. When I found that layer and took it off, my natural radiance and happiness was stronger. So Paz, I think in there, what I hear, what can empower you is honoring the difficulties that you're seeing on a day-to-day basis and honoring the I'm saying the word, I'm struggling with saying the word, but the complexities of the human journey and the good and the bad that exists and life and death and are the things that you see. And I struggle sometimes seeing things that are difficult to see, death and accidents and trauma, and honoring them without it bringing me down vibrationally. But that's what your career choice is. And so there seems to me, and Paz, tell me how this feels, is that if there's some honoring of the pain that you see, there could be less efforting in the positivity and the goodwill and the beauty that you have within. Paz, you're saying amazing, so I know it's resonating. We have to stop to pause to honor the things that we're seeing that doesn't align with our truth. There is a lot of, I'm going to say it, you know I don't like to say it, but you guys always make me say it. Look how I'm blaming you all. I'm blaming you all. Blaming you all. Oh my God, look at that. Look at that victim. I'm such a victim. I'm blaming you all. There is suffering and struggle in this world. There is. Let's choose not to be part of it. Let's choose to make our life the heaven. Paz, honoring the pain that I see. Yes, honoring it. Not feeling sorry for it. Not, this is my 3. There's compassion, there's sympathy, there's empathy. There's compassion, empathy, and sympathy. I'll say it in the other way. Compassion, sympathy, and empathy. Compassion is having love, honor that you see for everything. Empathy is feeling the pain that other person feels. Sympathy is feeling sorry. When you see what's going on, Paz, if you're giving them sympathy, you're giving them pain. And you're saying that you feel sorry and something is wrong. When you're empathizing, you're feeling what they're feeling. When you're honoring or giving compassion, you are giving life, love to life. So what you could start to do is, as you're out on the field and you're out and you're experiencing, ask yourself, am I sympathizing? Am I empathizing? Or am I giving compassion? And ultimately we all want to calibrate to compassion. But if you're feeling empathy at a moment, be interesting. Ask yourself why. Why is this resonating in an empathetic type of way rather than compassion? There must be some sort of that pain within me. If you are feeling sympathy, then you ask yourself, why am I feeling sorry for them? There's an ego in there that feels better than, rather than empathy, which actually is relating to. So why am I feeling sorry for them? There's my ego is being played. So first time to say it this way, guys. First way, it's really interesting. Sympathy has ego. Empathy is the emotional body. Compassion is coming from an alignment. So sympathy is probably coming from the physical pain. It's coming from pain. Empathy is coming from relating, and compassion is coming from alignment. So do you want to be in alignment or do you want to be in pain? And then when you are receiving that resistance, just ask yourself why. What am I meant to learn? Paz, how does that feel? Gary, this is unreal. Thank you. Oh, Paz, unreal as in real or truth? You're feeling truth. I took so many notes. Fantastic. I love when things radiate. Radiate and resonate. Resonate is the word I meant. Okay, fantastic. Gary, Manal, lately I've been having dreams. Oh, you know I love dreams. Oh my God, you have me at dreams. Okay, lately I've been having dreams about a past relationship from my early adulthood. It sadly was forced to end, and my dreams tell me I've been affected ever since. What do you do? Okay, this is fantastic, Gary, because I know you. Gary comes on regularly to these inspirations. So the more you come, the more we understand the stories and where the mindsets and the beliefs and what's going on. Gary, I think that's fantastically amazing that there's a beautiful story in there of loss of love and connection that's relating to how you have articulated that you're feeling about life and relationships. And it's coming to tell you that this is a emotion, a connection, a belief, a feeling that when you resolve, you'll resolve a lot of the beliefs and the conditionings that you've been feeling. So what do? I'm going to ask you, Gary, how do you feel about it? You didn't say how you felt about it, you stored it. So I'm going to read it from how you said it, and then I'm going to ask you to feel about it. Okay? Now, lately I've been having dreams, beautiful part of the story, about a past relationship. So I've been caught in the past, and the past is here to teach us and to align us to what our greatest desires are from my early adulthood. So this is our formative years, and where we start to really test relationships in different ways and create beliefs. It sadly, so there's an indication of feeling, was forced to end. So forced, where was that force coming from? So there's a control in there and feeling out of control. And my dreams tell me I've been affected ever since. So let's talk a bit more about the emotional. I feel sadness. I feel lack of control. I feel like it's stayed with you. So what are the beliefs that you have held and that you hold that can give you insight to how you're feeling? Gary, go at it. Rita, meant to learn that good things are coming. I think that's what you're saying. I think you're saying that about Gary. What do you do? It's meaning that, what is it meaning? What is it telling you, Gary? What are you feeling? So when you're waking up from that dream and you've been having it lately, what is that dream telling you? What is it telling you? And the most important thing about dreams, because I love understanding dreams, because they are a hint to things that you're not willing and able to process in the conscious mind, is how do you feel when you're waking up from a dream? Because somebody can tell the story of a dream, and somebody can feel like it helped them relieve and understand, and somebody can feel like it was a burden. So depending on the feeling of that dream, it actually changes the meaning of it significantly. So I'm going to give that for Gary to answer, and I know that I've missed some comments above. Paz, we talked about Rita saying, Manal, yes, baby steps about how to feeling good, about feeling good. This is the question I've been waiting for. Easier to have to feel, and this is about purpose. I still want us to get it. Valerie says the same thing. It's easier to know than to feel. It's easier to know. Oh, so Valerie is opposite. Valerie's saying it's easier. Oh, so no, you're saying the same thing. It's easier to know that your purpose than to feel that your purpose. Fantastic. Feeling my purpose seems easier for me. I don't succeed finding my purpose or doing my vision board, but I feel very often happiness and fantastic satisfaction. I'm going to read that again, Christine. Feeling my purpose seems easier to me. Okay, fantastic. I didn't succeed finding my purpose or doing my vision board, but I feel very often happiness and satisfaction. So Christine and Valerie and Paz, if you know in life that every time you feel happiness and satisfaction, you're living your purpose, how does that feel? How does that feel? I think I'm caught up on comments now. How does it feel to know that when you're happy, so if I have a moment of happiness, so everybody right now, I'm going to ask you to bring into your mind something that makes you feel happy. Okay, everybody bring in anything that makes you feel happy. Your pet, your child, something that you saw, something that made you laugh, a moment, an experience, an accomplishment, but I don't really like accomplishment because it's external. But anything that makes you feel happy, invite it. Just invite. And if you want to share it, share it. If you want to share what brings you happiness, share it. What brings me happiness? My cats bring me so much happiness. I just adore them. My children bring me so much happiness. My memories of my children when they were younger and looking at them as babies and just looking at the journey, just like concerts. Oh my God, Valerie, I love concerts too. Gary, my phone went dead. I'm sorry I missed most of the reply. You missed all of the reply, Gary, all of it. Okay, Gary, we'll come back to your reply in a second. Let's just talk about what makes you happy, and I'll go back to your reply in a second. I'll give you the clip notes of it. But everybody, tell me what brings you happiness, when you feel happiness. Christine, it feels wonderful, like you said, when I die now. Fantastic. So if you know that every time you feel happy, that you're like, oh, ding, 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 ding. I'm living my life purpose. Oh, I feel good. Ding, 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 ding. I'm aligned with purpose. Oh, I feel good. Boom, 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 boom. I'm living my life purpose. I'm going to a concert and I feel fantastic. Ding, 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 ding. I'm living my life purpose. Boom. Amazing. 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 So can we start to count the moments of laughter and happiness and start to recognize that we're living our life purpose? That is a really strong way to start calibrating with the feeling of purpose. The feeling of purpose. How does that feel? How does that feel? How does that feel? Riza, should we seek for happiness or inner peace? Because I realize that happiness depends on conditions being perceived as positive, whereas inner peace does not. Okay, Rosa, that's a fantastic question. It is such a fantastic question. And the answer is, it's so interesting because on my newsletters lately, what I do is say, plug in your word. I'll say, are you feeling, most people are feeling X, Y, or Z, or plug in your word. It really depends on you. It depends on you, and it depends on your conditioning and our conditioning on how we believe feeling or emotion is. So for example, I might see this green differently than all of you see that green, but we can't tell each other how we see the green. I know that sometimes I'll see a brown and call it a green, and someone will call it a green and not a brown, maybe the blue, the dark blue and the black. So I know sometimes I can have conversations with people and recognize that their blue is really a black to me, or my black is really a blue, and my spectrum of lens of color is different, but emotion is the same. We all have distortion with different emotions and might feel emotions differently. So all of us might be here. We are all here. And something happens. We can all translate that emotionally different. I might say it made me laugh. Somebody might say it made me giggle. Somebody might say it was funny. Somebody might say that made me happy. Somebody might say that brought me joy. Somebody might say that brought me peace. We all have different words, and I realize that there's some words that have a lot of distortion. Happiness and love have a lot of distortion. Peace has less distortion, but there's more of a heaviness with it, like can be achieved. So Rosa, what is it that you want to achieve? Ultimately, I say all three. We're all here to achieve three things: worthiness, freedom, and love. But when I say love, I call it love, happiness, joy, inner peace. So whatever it is that you feel that brings you less resistance and calibrating on a higher and higher and higher level. I always call it happiness, but I realize that there's a lot of resistance to that word called happiness. So now I call it everything. So Rosa, what do you want to seek? So what should you seek? There is no should. What would you like to seek? What feels like the best thing for you to calibrate to? How is that? How is that? Christine, why is it so hard for me to put the purpose in words or put it on a vision board? Christine, one of my favorite sayings, it's hard until it's not. It's hard because you've been told that you need to see your purpose in a specific way by being a doctor and going to Guatemala or going to South Africa and doing surgeries in children in the middle of the jungle. I don't know if that all lines up, but you get my meaning. By being on and doing whatever it might be doing, and we've been told that purpose is articulated and shown in a different way, but purpose is really by us being in alignment with who we are, and there's different ways of us all articulating, coming into who we are. And we have a journey to get to where we are. So I would say right now that I'm living my life purpose, being in front of you and speaking my truth and speaking all these things. It feels so alignment with my purpose. I can even get goosebumps from it. But my whole life, I can't say I have not been in purpose because I haven't been in front on a live stream in Insight Timer where I'm speaking about something that brings me so much joy. Because I was journeying towards that, and journeying towards opening up my voice and my truth in alignment with it, and creating the family that's part of my purpose, and having my children which are part of my purpose, and growing into the woman that I am that's part of my purpose. So it's a journey, just like the camping analogy that I said. It's like building a house. Like even when sometimes I think about what I'm doing and I'm like, oh, I want to be here and here and here and here and here. And then I'm like, Manal, you're building. If you were building a city, I usually don't think about a city, but it came out now. Would you have your city built in one day? No. Take the time and honor the time it takes to building that city. So Christine, we are taught that vision needs to be so clear, like a map of who we are and what our purpose is and what it is. And it's not. It's about the journey. We are our purpose of growing and becoming the person that's in alignment with our truth, and alignment with our light, and alignment with the beauty of who we are. Christine says, thank you, wonderful. And so that's resonating. Fantastic. So stop looking, which is what Rosa, I think it's Rosa, Rosa is saying. I think it's Rosa with a Z. Stop saying, which is Rosa is saying, looking outside for conditions to evaluate whether we have our purpose. It's internal, not external. It's internal, not external. And that internal, Rosa is saying, is called, I read it there. Perhaps I'm seeking for inner peace. Yes, my whole life I said inner peace. My whole life I said I'm looking for inner peace. And only recently have I articulated more consistently as happiness. Only more recently. And sometimes that inner peace and happiness are synonymous. Because I'm sitting with such inner peace and I just feel so happy. So is it peace or happiness, or is it one? How does that feel? Nancy, we're here for worthiness, freedom, and love. Love, 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 love. The three of them. And everywhere in my inspirations, my meditations, my talks, I talk about the three. And life is conditioning us away from the three of them. One more or two more than the others. Worthiness is always on my journey. Love has always pretty been cemented in my life. But the worthiness and the freedom are the two that I've always been playing with. So some people might be playing with three. I mean, we are playing with all of them, because ultimately this is the human journey and we are unconditionally free, worthy, and love. But the life's conditioning has taken us away from the calibration of that truth, and it's our journey to come back to unconditional. And we'll only feel unconditionally worthy, free, and love when we're dead. So don't overly zealous feel like if you're not unconditionally feeling those ways that you're unsuccessful, because this is what our human journey is. Was that a bit morbid, or did that come out right? Please give me hearts to tell me it came out right. Okay, Rita, I know I need to let go of the past. That monkey mind sometimes brings back little glimmers. Fantastic. So we're back to criticizing our beautiful minds. Our monkey minds are we spoke, now it's been 47:26. You guys know that I have the timer up here. We spoke, and it's not about the monkey mind. It's about not knowing where our purpose, and not feeling our purpose, and what are all these things. And it's let's call it, instead of letting go of our past, let's look at it as our calibration, our conditioning that's calibrating to our truth. So how about looking at the past as conditioning that's calibrating us to truth? What's our truth? What's our truth? Everybody put in the window what our truth is. I want to hear what our truth is. So Gary, you missed some really big insight about yourself, about your dream. Dreams are fascinating, and dreams are about holding on to stories or to feelings or to resistance to let us understand something that moves us towards our freedom. Your dreams that you have been having are really in harmony with a lot of the things that you feel about love and relationships and where you have. And so it's provided a lot of insight. So what I asked you to do is rewrite what you said from a point of feeling. So tell me how you felt during that dream, and how did you feel after that dream? I want to hear your feeling. Gary says, run with the devil and the horns. How does it feel? And that's what it is. So Rita, when you talk about, I need to let go of the past, what are your feelings about the past? Okay, guys, let's go from the monkey mind for a second into the emotional body, because I know it's usually our emotional body that we're repressing because we've taught, or we've not even known that it was a body to listen to. So if everybody is looking at their body, their emotional body, what are the emotions from the past that you feel that you're holding on to? Gary, what is that dream telling you from a feeling standpoint? If you had to rewrite that dreams from just, I felt sad and abandonment. Pow. Chung, boom, chung. Beautiful. Sad and abandonment. And then there was something else huge in that storyline that you put in there. You were forced to end. That was about control. Talk to me about control in there too. Rita, guilt. That I could not make a relationship work, but it was toxic. Beautiful. Toxic. It was toxic. It was hurting me, but I feel guilty from breaking away from something that was hurting me. Rita, guilt is a fantastic one. Guilt is the one that we're all on the journey for. And tell me something from your logical mind and your emotional mind. I don't care what mind it is. And I'm going to ask you something that's a bit rhetoric, but I really want to know your answer, even though it sounds rhetoric, but it's really, really important. And everybody that's holding on to guilt, open yourself up to this. It was toxic. So why are you upset to not have something toxic in your life? What is it that you're missing? What is it that you desire? What is it you desire? What is it saying about you? That's what I want to know. So if something's truly bad for us, typically we're really happy that it's gone. I mean, logically, something's bad for us. We're really happy that it's gone. So the relationship was toxic. But there is something in that relationship, Rita, that you really enjoyed and that aligned with you. Unless you're holding on to guilt and that conditioning. So that's part of that as you having to grow into your self-worth and your worthiness. But I think there's something different. What did that relationship give you? Again, deconstructing the key lime pie. If we can deconstruct the key lime pie and realize, oh, the toxicity was bad. Feeling bad in the relationship was bad. But what was good was the connection, the laughter, the being held, being understood, being taken care of. Maybe on an egoic level, being a couple rather than being alone. Might be some mourning about now being individual rather than being with somebody. So there's those sort of societal implications about you being alone. Rita, honestly, pain and headache. Maybe I missed the coupleness. Fantastic. Figure out what it is that you miss. What it is that you miss, because it's huge what you miss, because the resistance of letting go of a toxic relationship and the holding on to that relationship is because there's a lack of deconstruction of the key lime pie of what you loved and desired. Because I think it's more than you were attracted because you're not feeling worthiness. There is something. There's something. Whew. Gary, her parents. I knew there was parents involved in there. Those parents, those pesky parents that think they're doing their best for their kids and they end up scarring them for life. Oh, how many parents did that? How many parent stories did that hit? Okay, her parents were worried about their future plans for her. So they took her free will, which took away mine. Fantastic, Gary, fantastic, Gary, fantastic, Gary. So there's a lot of control, and it's what's interesting, Gary, a lot of your stories and your past inspirations, this is what I said too. I talked a lot when you were gone, I talked a lot about you, is about being out of control and things are being bigger from you. So, and this is embedded everything that you've talked about. Your fear of relationship and not being connected, and a lot of what happens to you on a physical level that is your free will because of a secondary. It's not directly, it's secondarily affecting you. So it's really huge insight if you could start to break down that key lime pie about the emotions. So feeling that fear and abandonment, feeling that control. Can you feel, Gary, that from a control point of view? And everybody feel into that from the control, feeling out of control. So when I'm asking Rita and Gary, even though we have two storylines going on, a toxic relationship and a relationship that was ending, it's the same thing that I'm going after in both the stories. So everybody, if there's a story that you have and you want to start to deconstruct it the same way. What's the storyline? So Rita's storyline is, I feel guilty about past relationship that ended. Gary's storyline is, I have dreams, and what are my dreams telling me? So then we get to the emotional point. Gary's like, oh, I feel sad and abandoned. Sad and abandoned. So we're deconstructing the key lime pie. Rita is, I feel pain and heartache, and maybe I miss being a couple and being connected to somebody. Then on the egoic level now, so on the physical level, we can also talk about the physical, that Gary's dreaming, he feels sad, there's abandonment from the past and it's holding on to the future. And the Rita too, there's a guilt because of what's happened from the past. So both of them are holding on to something from the past. And so then the egoic is, we got to it for Gary, feeling out of control in life. And for Rita, it's about feeling connection. And both of them, there's connection in there too. Do you guys see? Was that a bit confusing how I talked about the two and went back and forth? But can you sort of see the value of the deconstruction of the key lime pie? And then really looking at these two stories were about feeling worthy and feeling free. And feeling connection, which is really love. It's actually so powerful. The similarities. Connection, losing it, abandonment. Beautiful. Beautiful. So now this is step one. So step one is awareness. Okay. So I just talked about awareness in all 4 bodies. We talked about the 4 bodies earlier. So let's talk about the 5 steps. 5 steps. Step one is awareness. Being aware and becoming aware of all 4 bodies. I'm aware of the beliefs. I'm aware of my thoughts. I'm aware of my emotions. I'm aware of my feeling. Step 2 is acknowledging your greatest desire. We come through the acknowledgement through the story. So what is it that you're feeling? Feeling sad and feeling abandoned. So what is it that you want to feel? So the acknowledgement is recognizing what is undesired and to get to what is desired. And the desired is typically the 3: worthiness, freedom, and happiness. Then step 3 is you recognize, oh, this is the human journey. This is normal. This is interesting. This is intriguing. Oh my goodness, how much insight I've received about myself. And this is all me calibrating to worthiness. Oh, this is me calibrating to freedom. Oh my goodness, because shift only happens emotionally. So that step 3, appreciation, you can't effort it in logic. You actually need to feel it. And you keep going between step 1 and step 2, step 1 and step 2 and 3, till you really feel aligned with that appreciation. And then step 4 is you let go, and you can let go of that energy. And step 5 is surrender. Step 5. So those are the step 5s. So Gary and Rita, we're talking about 2 stories at the same time, and I hope everybody is sticking in your storyline in there. What is it that you're feeling right now? Are you still in the logicking, or is there shifting in your feeling? Do we need to talk more about shifting in your feeling? Because you guys are 2 live examples of how we go through step 5 steps. Gary, my ex-wife never got the best of me because of it. Beautiful. So I really love actually in there that there's a sense of responsibility for that second marriage as well, which I think is empowering and liberating. When we can see within ourselves, when we weren't holding ourselves to the highest level, then we could see where life has taught us and we are part of it and we're not victim of it. So Gary, I think that's fantastic. She also had a serious issue I never knew about. She was raped as a child and no one knew. Fantastic, Gary. So you were connected because there was pain on different levels, and those are really big for us to really decompress hers, and she's not even here, so we really don't need to go into it. But it is all about control as well, and probably there was worthiness issues, and you attracted each other because you guys were growing through and coming into your worthiness and your freedom and your happiness together. I feel like every relationship is fantastic because we're here to grow together. We attract within relationships that mirror what we're going on within, and many of us hope that those relationships will grow with us till we die, but they don't always, and there might be phases of our life where our relationship will grow with us, and then it's ready to move on because you're ready to take something on new. So Gary and Rita, how are you feeling now? You've shared the stories and we're sort of talking them through and deconstructing the key lime pie. Have you shifted the way that you're feeling about it by just talking about it and hearing me talk about it? Or is there a shift that you need to do to let go? That's a really specific question. And everybody that's talking about and thinking about their storyline, is there any questions that you have or any feelings? Are you moving? Do you want to hear? Okay, let's go into a body. Let's go into our bodies. Everybody ready? Let's go into a micro meditation. I don't know how micro it's going to be, but this is, I think, a perfect time to go into our bodies. Does anybody have anything to say before we go into a meditation to go into our bodies? And help Rita and Gary, let me know if there's anything else that you wanted to share before we go into our bodies. Everybody, how are you feeling? Give me hearts, and you want to go into your body. Is there something you want to ask or say? There's a bit of lag today. Some days it's like, choom, choom, choom. I ask a question and the comments are there and the hearts are there. And then sometimes, more recently, I've been finding there's a bit of a lag. So today there's a bit of lag. There we go. Passes meditation. Fantastic. I see some hearts. Okay. Gary, but we have 3 wonderful kids and get along well. So I have no regrets about our marriage. Fantastic. It's all about growth and expansion, Gary. It's all about growth and expansion. And again, I don't want to logic it. Logic it doesn't help. Oh, I know what my life purpose. Great. Knowing it isn't enough. It's feeling it. We need to feel our life purpose. We need to feel our alignment. We need to feel our light. We need to feel. Jules, I want to align my purpose with my actions. Beautiful. Jules, beautiful. And I'm going to just, Jules, can I just offer that I want to be in alignment, and your actions is your physical body, and your purpose, which is your egoic and your mental and your emotional, and just be in alignment. Your body is flowing and you're in alignment with life, with yourself, with purpose, with inner peace, with your worthiness, with your freedom. How's that, Jules? And yes, 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 yes. And Jules, let me ask you too, what is in the way of that? What is your conditioning story? What is your resistance that's keeping you from that? Just so I have insight as we go into old hurts, fantastic, the past, the past, the past. Beautiful, no different than everybody else, the past. And are you willing to look inside and become aware? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Scary, still I have pain. Beautiful, because you're spending too much time here and not here. We're going to go in here. Rachel, I came in late, but what I'm hearing is resonating. Fantastic, Rachel. Love to see you. Jules, fantastic. Absolutely. Excellent, excellent. It's time. It's time. It's time. And you know what? With us together in this community, it is also fun. We do it with laughter, we do it with love, we do it with compassion, we do it with care, we do it with courageousness, we do it with strength, we do it with power, we do it with alignment. What else do we do it with? We do it and it's fun and it feels good. It feels good. Right, guys? Please tell me that it's true. Hear I see the hearts, which means it's true, means it's true. Rachel, I feel like my current relationship is an ending point, but I have to be the one to make the move, and that's terrifying. Rachel, I can tell you something, and we'll go into the body. So when we go into the body, I like all these stories, so it helps us prep for the meditation. Other people end it, it's painful. And if you have to end it, it's painful. So in any way, ending a relationship is painful. Being empowered and in alignment with the decision. And that's when you know that you're in alignment, when you just come from a clarity and a knowing. Really interesting. One of my friends, when we were on the pool deck the other day, she was telling me about how her high school son broke up with his girlfriend of 18 months. And she was really, really, really upset because he didn't share it with her before. He just did it. He just did it. She's like, I thought we were close and I thought we were really, that he would share with me. And she goes, I'm really upset that, not that he did it. And she goes, I'm really upset about the relationship, and the girl was wonderful and I loved her mom and blah, 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 blah. I just can't believe he didn't share it with me. And I said to her, I can tell you, and we hadn't been talking for a while, she's a dear friend, but it was just the insight that I had felt, and just knowing her and knowing her son, knowing the character. But I said to her, you know what? I think that your son had just so much clarity and so much knowing that this is the right thing, that he didn't want to talk to other people and be talked out of his knowing. That he just knew this is not the right thing for me to do, and talking about it with too many people would keep him away from his clarity. So I guess, and she's like, yeah, that resonated. Like she felt like this huge weight come off of her, and there was no more judgment of her not. And I said, I know he loves you and he trusts you more than anything, and if he needed you, he would come to you. But this was something he needed to do from his truth and his alignment. And she felt that relief, which is what I was looking for. So Rachel, the relief that I'm hoping that you'll look for is that trust your clarity, invite the clarity, invite knowing, invite for it to be done in the smoothest, cleanest way possible. Invite it in a way that honors you and honors him and honors the relationship and the past relationship and everything that it is. Honor it, that it's coming from your strength and your inner power. Honor your strength, honor your courage. Just move to a point of honoring in the lens and recognizing if he does it, doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good. So you're doing it from your light and from your empowerment and from your truth and from your clarity. Rachel, so you can be talked out of your knowing? Absolutely. In some of my hours, my brother would say to me, stop listening to everybody, Manal. Do what you know is true. He said, stop listening. Even my daughters in high school at one point said to me, Mom, stop listening to others and do what you know is true. You absolutely can be told. And sometimes you need to keep those around you that tell you that you know. That you know. Not they know better. Some of my friends that aren't my friends anymore said to me, I'm telling you because we know better than you about you. Oh, did not feel good. Evil Manal. Evil Manal. We know better. We know better. We're thinking about your children. We think about this. We're thinking about this. We know better than you. And guess who knows better about me? Me. Guess who knows better for my children? Me. No, them. Them. But I'm the number one that's really aligned for what I want to amplify them. I don't know if I'm number one or not. That's not the right comment. But the comment is, I know my truth. And surround yourself with people that amplify the knowing of your truth. Surround yourself by people who honor your knowing, who help celebrate your knowing and help extract your knowing by calling you on resistance, by calling you. So Gary sharing this, I know insight into him, and I could sort of say, okay, here's the stream that I can see. Boom, powerful, powerful. Powerful, powerful, powerful. People have told me before, I know you better than myself. It makes me so frustrated. Yeah, nobody knows. Nobody knows. We just know. We just know. Gary, but I'll be gone for about 10 minutes. Work related. Can you please wait till I'm back to meditate? You guys, who wants to wait for Gary for 10 minutes? Who wants to wait for Gary for 10 minutes? Gary, I'm leaving this to the team. Evil Manal came out. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yes, we can be talked out of our truth. We can be told that we don't know. One of my daughters has an egg allergy. Fair enough, Gary says. It's not. Anyway, we're going to go, Gary, go. No problem for me, Gary. Go, Gary, go. Go and come back. Wait for Gary. See, I know everybody will say the right thing. I know everybody. Go. Good morning, everybody. Andrea. Okay, so my daughter, when she was younger, she had an egg allergy. When she was a baby, I knew that one of the best foods, you guys, one of the most nutritious foods is egg. So I would give her egg, and the kid would spit it out. She would spit it out, and she would not eat the egg. Just spit it out. And every day, I would keep giving her egg. One day I realized she has an egg allergy. She had an allergy, and she would throw up later on after eating stuff, and we didn't realize until one day we figured out she had an egg allergy. She knew as a baby. She stuck it, she didn't feel good, and she would spit it out. She would refuse. And with that egg allergy, I would always recognize, it was the biggest teacher for me to recognize that our kids know more than we do about them. And if we're truly parenting, and this is about kids, it's about friends, it's about everything. If we're truly loving from our inner power, what we want to do is see and help amplify everybody's connection and knowing with their truth. And that doesn't mean as a mom that we're not going to guide and we're not going to put in boundaries and we're not going to do things because it's part of what being a parent is. But the best role that we can have for everybody else in life is to help everybody to know and see their truth and to amplify that truth and to bring that truth. How does that feel? How does everyone feel? How many people have somebody around you that makes you feel like they know better than you do about you? How many people do you make other people feel like you know better for them or to them than them? I'm going to pause on this one because I think this is a really good one for us to work out and to figure out what's in the way there and how to break that so we could all start to see everybody from whole. Once we see ourselves from whole, we can see other people from whole. And we want to see everybody from whole. How does that feel? How does that feel? Talk to me, talk to me. Sometimes I pause to wait for words, and I don't really like pausing when I wait for words, but I do it sometimes. So Nancy, everybody, fantastic. Gary's back. But what we came to and what I'd love to hear, give me my daughters. Andrea, beautiful. So your daughters, you feel like you know best for them. You know better for your daughters other than them. Valerie, I feel like for a long time I went into the right headspace and let others choose for me. I didn't really care what would happen to me. And now when I'm not empowered and someone tries to imply that they know better, I just get angry. What do you mean? Fantastic, Valerie. It starts with anger and then we'll keep shifting and shifting and shifting and shifting till you radiate your truth. And that just feels so good. Fantastic, Valerie. And Gary, I'm glad you're back. I think I already said that. Rachel, I try not to feel I know better than my kids, but it's a learning process. Fantastic. See them as whole. And the more you can see them as whole is the more they're going to lean into you allowing them to guide, and the least resistance you'll get into that church or that process. Andrea, none of them knows better than all of us. No one of them knows better than all of us. Andrea, talk to me. No one of them knows better than all of us. Andrea, tell me again. Rosa, I was thinking about my younger sister because she's maturing. Fantastic. She knows better. You can ask her. You can guide her. You can say, how does that feel to you? You can give her experiences and share with her experiences. But again, you asked me about Rosa. What am I doing? Was it you that asked Rosa about how should I feel happy or inner peace? What is it that I'm supposed to feel? And it depends on what you feel, and depends on your calibration. Your younger sister is different. You might say you need to be happy, and she might say, no, I want to be peaceful. You might say you need to feel inner peace, and she says, no, I want to be happy. The only way it really is asking what it is ultimately that they're looking for, and helping them, guide them through that asking. So I would really hope from this is that we really come to a point that we amplify and see the light in ourselves and in others. Rachel, I came to a realization this weekend that I'm always compromising myself out of my wants and needs. It shook me. Fantastic, Rachel. Fantastic. Fantastic. Rita's calling, asking you if it's people pleasing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then Rachel, how does that feel and why do you do it? Andrea, I meant to say one of my daughters seems to act as she knows more than all of us. Beautiful, Andrea. Beautiful. And it would be interesting to recognize that that's probably coming from insecurity and not taking it personal. And yeah, where is it coming from? Where is it coming from? Valerie, with others, I sometimes think I know better, but I realize everyone's on their own journey. When what I say does align with them, that's okay. They might need something else. Beautiful. For me too, I think early on, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, 6, I don't know how many years ago, when the spiritual, judging everybody on their spirituality, where they're going, how aware they are, how unaware they are. Now I'm like, I don't care where everybody is. I love everybody for where they are. And things aren't linear, and it's not like you can't measure people on like, when we get our report cards, you break it down into willingness to this and all the different disciplines, math and science, whatever. Life isn't like that. And we all have different ways of expressing and being and doing and living and vibrating. And now I just like want to see everybody for the beauty they are, and for the intention that they have, and for the heart that they are, and for how they make me feel when I'm around them. Do you make me feel good or not make me feel good? Oh, if you make me feel good, I want to be with you. If you don't make me feel good, I know that's on me, but I don't want to choose to be with you a lot, because even though it's on me, I'm going to choose somebody that helps me and feels that when I'm with them, I feel good. If I feel better alone than with you, I'm going to choose alone. If I feel better with you than alone, I'll choose you. I could also do it doesn't have to be ors, it could be ands, but I'm going to choose to be with people that feel better or the same as when I'm alone. I'm not going to choose to be with people that it would be better off for me to be alone than to be with them because I don't feel good. Yeah, good. Rachel, I do it because I don't trust myself. I do it to avoid conflict. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So avoiding conflict is about trust. You got it. You've got it. You nailed it. And we'll just keep muscling into the trust, into the self-love, into the worthiness, into the recognition that you have everything that you need within you. Everything that we need is within us. The external world is teaching us to go in. And let's celebrate that and have fun in going in. And while we go in, we're going to find that resistance in all the different layers. We're going to find it and we're going to break through. Good. I think that's a good segue into our meditation, into our bodies. Anybody want to say anything? Are you ready for our body? Are you ready? Morgan, sometimes when I feel stressed, I have to remember it is stress and not a gut feeling. Stress is just upsetting my guts. Beautiful, Morgan. And actually watching with curiosity the gut, the sensations of the gut, and not calling it stress, but looking at it and saying, oh, This is the physical sensations. Like, even look at it. Wow, this is interesting, these physical sensations. And then deconstruct the key lime pie. What is that emotion? Oh, wow, I feel fear. Oh, wow, interesting. Stress, I call it stress. Stress is feeling overwhelmed. Oh, I'm feeling overwhelmed. And then boom, 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 deconstruct the key lime pie. Ooh, I don't have enough time. What is it that you're stressed about, Morgan? Oh, I need to get my work done. Oh, XYZ, whatever that might be. And then that's the monkey mind. Today it's all about the monkey mind. Start to deconstruct that key lime pie. And when you start to break it out, you see each one for each it is, that awareness. And then you acknowledge, as you said, those are just physical manifestations of thoughts. Oh, I'm not present right now. I'm thinking about the future, thinking about the past. How can I get present? By feeling my gut, by taking deep breaths, by going into my body. Morgan, good, good, good. I think that's fantastic. Fantastic. I'm waiting again because I know there's a lag. I want to see if Morgan has anything to say, and I think we're ready to go into our body. Everybody is feeling good. Rosa, I have trouble being present as well. Yeah, how about this, everybody? How about this? How about this? Rather than saying I have trouble being present, and I know we all say that, how about this? I'm trying to calibrate new language, and I'm happy for anybody to stick in language with me too. Our life journey and conditioning is here to teach us how to be present. I'm a student of life, and I'm enjoying using the tools, my body, my mind, my heart, my emotions, my ego, for me to learn how to go in and become connected with my presence of who I am, rather than calibrating to the external world. The past and the future are conditioning elements, external elements that are helping me to learn to be present. It's so fascinating to learn to be present because I recognize I'm human like everybody else, and this journey gives us natural conditioning that keeps us from being present. It's only when we're aware that we start to realize, oh, our journey is not about achieving external success, it's actually achieving internal peace. And that eternal peace is achieved through being present. Oh my God, this is fascinating. How fun it is to realize that I was looking for purpose in all the wrong places, and the purpose of life is all about being present and finding the beauty internally. And when I find the beauty internally, my life externally reflects how I'm feeling internally, and everything is just perfect. Rosa, how does that feel? Instead of I have trouble being present as well. Rosa, that's amazing. That's what the life journey is about. Nobody's having trouble doing anything. We just weren't given the rule book on life that was clear enough. The rule book is easy. We are born. We are conditioned. Conditioning builds up resistance. That resistance moves us away from the truth. The truth is that we are living our life purpose, and that purpose is teaching us to calibrate to unconditional worthiness, freedom, and love. When we calibrate to these three, we are present and life feels fantastic. We internally calibrate rather than externally calibrate, and we're living life as designed through a lens of growth and expansion. How does that feel, guys? How does that feel? How does that feel? That's the Manal philosophy on life, and doesn't it feel so much more empowering and amazing and allowing and freeing and flowing, and everywhere we are is where we're meant to be? Bottom line, if we are where we're meant to be, bottom line, boom, everything is perfect. Rosa, you're where you are meant to be. Morgan, you're where you're meant to be. Rachel, you're where you're meant to be. Valerie, you're where you're meant to be. Gary, you're where you're meant to be. Everything is perfect. Everything is perfect. Yes, yes, yes. I say yes. Okay, fantastic. Okay, we're going into our bodies right now. If anybody wants to say anything, Rachel says yes. Okay, fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, everybody, let's start with our bodies. We're going to go in and we're going to deconstruct the key lime pie. Gary and Rita's stories helped get us there, but I want everybody to go to your stories, feel into your bodies, do it from a place of empowerment. Don't overindulge in your feelings. Just enjoy the exploration of your different bodies, okay? So everybody, let's start. My favorite way to start any meditation is with 3 breaths. 3 is my number, and I just love 3 breaths. Everybody take a deep breath in. And release. Take a second deep breath in. And release. Take a 3rd and final deep breath in. Today we had an amazing journey through our 4 bodies. Our mind, our amazing minds that are sometimes overactive, and we start to recognize that our minds are just doing so much. Processing our egoic beliefs, processing our emotional reactions, and our physical being and our actions. And once we start to realize that our mind is just a processor for the 4 bodies, even processing the logic and the reasoning and our brain activities, start to have love, compassion, honor, respect, and care for the mind. The mind quickly led us to recognizing that we are our life's purpose. We are purpose. We are purpose. And our journey here on earth is to recognize this purpose and ultimately feel the truth of our purpose. It's so interesting that what keeps us from our purpose is the past. But it's normal. It's our conditioning. So let's go through our bodies right now and just explore and release. Explore and release. So I want everybody to invite into your bodies. Start to become aware of your bodies. And start becoming aware. Now you can enter your body one of a few ways. The first way is if you feel physical pain, if there's physical tightness, if there's a particular body part that just feels and carries, maybe you have a hurt knee or a shoulder or a finger. So enter your body through the physical sensations, through connecting with your body. You can also enter your body through your emotions. So if you're aware of sadness, just go right into that sadness and feel that sadness. If you feel anger, frustration, confusion, lack of worthiness, anxiety, stress, whatever it might be, enter through that feeling. Another way is just going in through your stories. So if you had recent dreams, in that storyline, relationships, ending relationships, anything that just comes and allows you to go in to your body. Now when you're in your body, I ultimately want you to start to deconstruct the physical sensations and recognize the associated emotions and stories, the thoughts. At first it might feel like, ooh, but you're flying between your different bodies and starting to deconstruct that key lime pie. That physical sensation, what's that associated emotional reaction? And is there a story or a belief that's associated with it? Approach it from curiosity, from intrigue, from an explorer. Like, this is fascinating, how much my body can tell me and how much my body knows. What's really fascinating is when you start to see patterns in the way that you feel, your emotions, in the way that you think. That you feel out of control, or that you feel like you need connection, or connected to toxic relationships, and just sort of see that there's a pattern. This is what we call conditioning that you've picked up. And when you start to recognize that this is actually power, patterns, starts to empower you to recognize, oh, this isn't my fault. I'm not doing anything wrong. This is just life unfolding. This is what's meant to be. I'm here to learn and to grow. And the external world is a teacher to teach me to go inside. This is actually sort of fun. This is actually sort of fascinating. Honor whatever your body is telling you, and don't overindulge. If you're getting a lot of oversensory, if there's a lot getting sent to you, just sort of imagine yourself flying out further away from your body. If you're really enjoying it and you can take it more, go fly in closer. Just really enjoy those sensations. But just trust that you're going to do what's for your highest good. If you would like, we can journey back in the past, because a lot of this resistance, all of this resistance, has been picked up from the past. Now, it's a natural part of the human evolution. Nothing is wrong and nothing is broken. Nobody is bad. People may have done bad things to you or bad things around you, but the intention is the natural unfolding of life. So if you have the intention, the desire, let's go and fly back and sort of explore the past without overly indulging in emotions and feelings. Sort of go to the past and see, where did this conditioning come from? How did I pick up some of this? So imagine yourself flying through the timeline and start in your mother's womb. Be in your mother's womb at this point. Sort of feel, how does it feel to be in there? Just sort of see, what is the feelings? What are you vibrationally feeling? See if any of the energy that you're picking up from the external world, from your mom, from your dad if he's around, friends, sort of feel. And just ask yourself, what am I meant to learn? you're feeling lost, just take a deep breath and ground yourself in your body. And just know that you will receive what is for your highest good. Know that the intention is really to sit quietly with your body and to receive impulses, emotional impulses, physical impulses, stories, just to allow you to understand and connect. Now imagine yourself coming out of the womb, being born, and sort of feel what's going around in the room. See if there's anything that you can pick up feeling-wise. And sort of journey through your timeline as a baby, toddler, adolescent, and see what are the stories sort of come into your awareness, and are there any vibrational cookie cutters that you might be picking up? Continue to fly to adulthood. See yourself, your life, your unfolding, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, or wherever you are, whatever your age, and just come back into your body. Receive everything that you're meant to receive, and just know again that you are living your life purpose, that you are beautiful, you are amazing, your life is exactly as it's meant to be, that everything you might not have known when you were living it, but everything is as meant to be. Everything is here to teach you. Every resistance was a message for you to go in, to understand yourself, and to love yourself. And that now you're willing to hear, to see, to feel, to love your four bodies, your human journey, your life journey, your conditioning, your resistance. You are here to love it all, and to recognize that when you start to see it for your ability to grow and expand, that you're empowered to live life from a place of presence, from inner power, from alignment, from beauty, from strength, from compassion, from power. And that it's time to shift the way that you live life to be aligned with the now. Take a deep breath in and release all of the resistance that you're connected with. Just release all of the resistance. Take another deep breath in and release. I also like to just sometimes shake it off, or to sort of imagine it coming off or taking it off. So whatever way that you feel that you're sort of inspired to let go of that resistance, let go of it all. And recognize that all of it has done its job. It's guided you internally. Morgan says dancing helps. Just dance, let it go, let it off, but imagine yourself just filling up with light, and that light allowing all of the resistance stories, all of the guilt, all of the shame, all of the judgment, all of the pain, the anger, the sadness, all of those stories, all of the monkey minds, everything to just let go. Wonderful. And at this point, I'm just going to stay quiet for 2 minutes and just let you go into your body and just see if there's anything that you feel. Just sort of ask it what it'd like you to understand. See if it's ready to let go and to shift into light. And I'll call you back in 2 minutes. Wonderful. Now I want you to imagine the light from the universal divine, the light coming up and going through the crown of your head, bathing your third eye, through your head, your neck, your shoulders, and out your arms and your hands, through your chest, just lighting up your chest and your heart, and just connecting to your heart and just seeing and just radiating strong, beautiful light. Imagine you to have light, the light from the divine earth going through the soles of your feet, your ankles, your calves, your knees, your thighs, through your pelvis area, up your solar plexus, and then again anchoring into your heart where it meets the light universal divine. Imagine your heart just enjoying where that earth pristine energy meets the universal divine energy, just sort of radiating through your body. Just let go of any resistance that you connected with, and just know that you are your life's purpose, and together we'll continue to calibrate to feel the beauty of your purpose. And that purpose is connected through being present with your body. And we might journey a bit to let go some of the past resistance and conditioning, so you can calibrate so easily with your light, your happiness, your inner peace, your strength, your inner power, your knowing, your clarity, your flow, your allowing. It doesn't matter what we call it. What it is you coming in from a place of strength, alignment, flow, and beauty, and expressing the natural beauty and expression of who you are, the uniqueness of who you are, the beauty of who you are, the celebration of who you are. You are unique. Your life journey is unique, and everything is meant to be. And together we will journey and have fun as we start to transform into our authentic selves. And we can't really transform into who we are, but we will radiate that with with free flow and allowing in abundance. And we'll count to 5. And on 3, everybody open your eyes and come back into the virtual room and let me know how you're feeling. 1, 2, 3. Open your eyes and come back. 4 and 5. Morgan, I feel more in control, Morgan, and I really enjoyed having your comments. I hope you all don't hear the mower that just happened during our meditation to come in. At one point I was going to say to you, if you hear it as loudly as I do, imagine it to be the background noise to help you meditate, but I didn't speak to it, but it's very annoying for me. Oh yeah, Gary said, I'm like, really? Timing. This is when you know that I'm not in the studio. I'm so sorry. He sounds like he's right out my window too. Oh yes. Okay, so Gary, you felt stirred up and you felt a little lost. Did you come back to it? Did you feel real connected? I tried to speak to that. Morgan, I did, but I felt really appreciate how grounded you are. Thank you. I really felt like I had to become more. I had trouble concentrating as the mower was, and it was too loud. Me too. I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't know what to do. Didn't know if I pull ourselves out of meditation. We're in meditation. I was going to speak to it and say, use it as something to calibrate to, but I'm sorry. We made it still. We did make it, but I know that I was a bit distracted from it, and I can feel that we were all, and I'm like, okay, Manal, come back grounded. So I'm sorry, and it just stopped. Just during it. Me too, Andrea, but it's okay. Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. We can do another meditation if you want. I'm happy to do another meditation. How is everybody feeling? Not your fault. No, it's not my fault, but I don't like it. I feel the heart's going. Okay, how is everybody feeling? Now, Morgan shared a lot about PTSD, and it's exactly what we're talking about. There's a lot of sensations that are going on from different trauma, and the mind is just stirring it all up and is talking to all the sensations. It's all about staying still and just feeling it. Morgan, we love you. I love you all. Paz, I feel so calm now. Fantastic. Thank you so much. You guys know that usually it's birds outside with us during our meditations. Today it was a lomar. I don't know what that says about where I am today. But anyway, Morgan also said, I love my did for that. I don't know, DID. I was calmed, especially going to the past. Fantastic, Rachel. Fantastic. Every illness I've ever got was a message to heal my mind. See, what we're getting is messages. I spoke to that, Morgan, during the meditation. I can talk to every version of my console and listen to their needs. Fantastic. I was calmed. I appreciated not having a neighbor next door. Andrea, I got that one. Oh my goodness. I know. My gardeners come on Wednesday, but anyway, I'm better, but imagining gives me issues, like I don't have enough, right? Gary, tell me more about what imagining does. Does it make a judgment on you that you're supposed to do something that you're not? And how does everybody enter your body? How do you enter, and does that description, is it over descriptive or under descriptive? Do you enter from your physical, your emotional, or your mental? How does everybody enter your body? Are you able to go in right away, or do you come in through different ways? And how easily are you able to deconstruct your pie? I'm asking a lot of questions here. I want you guys to tell me what is working for you. Paz feels so calm right now. I think mostly emotional. Fantastic. And then are you seeing the cookie cutters? Are you seeing the patterns? Are you able to see, wow, or I'm able to see that this is happening again and again and again? Last week, Sporty Jen shared a story. It's actually in Attaining Your Authentic Life about walking through, and the book was in 5 chapters, and every chapter you keep falling in the hole until you stop falling into that hole. So those cookie cutters are actually symbolism for those holes that you keep falling into. So do you see your holes? Do you see your cookie cutters? Morgan, I ask myself questions, try to listen as much as possible to my body. Fantastic. That's the way to do it. Rachel, for my physical and emotional, I was cooking. Beautiful. Oh, so you were cooking at the same time. Fantastic. You can be doing whatever you want to be doing. Valerie, I see what I'm feeling in my body, so maybe physical. Fantastic. Gary, imagining reminds me imaginary or fake. Gary, then be more logical about it. Then when I say the word imagining, don't listen, filter that word to mean go into your body. Don't hear my word imagining, or filter my word imagining to mean a different way. Hear it as go into, or explore, or find connection with. And maybe I'll start using the word imagining, because I know you're not the first one that says, I'm not even aware that I'm saying the word imagining, but I'll start to be more directive and not make it imagining, but actually make it go into the womb. But I feel like some people might have resistance because they're like, how do I do that? So I want to say, well, imagine you're in your womb, or go back to the womb. I'll play with language that addresses not using the imagination, but still allows for it for somebody that says, well, I can't go into the womb. How do I go into the womb? So does everybody go into the womb? I want to hear more about how it feels and what those steps feel like to you all, because it will really help me. Do you get into the womb? Do you come out? Do you feel the connections? Do you feel messages at that point? Sometimes I feel the womb for me is silenced amongst the noise. Beautiful, Rachel, beautiful. And a lot of us, when we're in the womb, still are connected to our inner light really strong. Some people pick up some of the resistance we're in the womb, and they realize, ooh, I feel I attract toxic relationships. That's how my mom felt. My mom felt unworthy, and they picked it up. So it's really interesting. I think it depends on how stable the womb was as your place to grow, whether or not you have that silence and that noise is being filtered, but there's still a lot of comfort, or if it's the journey to start picking up the conditioning. So for me, particularly with the one-on-one work, the womb is so fascinating for me. If even working with twins, sometimes I feel such interesting picking up of some of the conditioning that twins are still living in their adulthood that was picked up in the womb. Rita, it was not stable. Mother gave me up for adoption. Beautiful. So you felt, Rita, so when you go to the womb, you feel you feel that, and maybe, Rita, that comes from where some of the toxic relationships come from, not feeling worthy and not feeling a stable relationship. That's a huge piece to continue to calibrate to, and to feel when you go into that womb, that lack, that toxic relationship, that love-hate. Your mom was struggling with herself, I'm sure. A lot of people, it's a natural process that you're bringing a baby and you can't have it, so it was clearly not choice, but you have beliefs, or you're not able to have an abortion, and you bring that baby and you love it, but you're conflicted in such a big way. So Rita, that conflict actually is really interesting for you to start to understand some of your conditioning. Do you play with that conditioning? Gary, I'll try that because certain words shut my brain off. Oh no. Gary, I get it. I said to you that sometimes I don't feel imagination, and that I have a very logical mind too. Very processing, logical mind. You all know it's an engineer's mind. So it sometimes was a journey for me, and my way of doing it is filtering it and doing it my way, and then honoring that what I'm doing is right. So what I can see, Gary, is you just hear it and just honor that what you're doing is right, and that you aren't incapable of doing X, Y, and Z, but that's just not your language. So I don't know, Gary, Rachel's suggesting if I use visualize, would that help you more than imagine? Or just filter it and not judge yourself of not being able to do it, but change it to a more mechanical word for yourself. Gary, help me help you. Rachel, I like the word visualize too. Do I ever say visualize, or I usually sing imagine? I don't even know what I'm saying. Valerie, I do imagine myself being in an enclosed space, fetus position, see what's going on around it. It's interesting, Valerie, that you see yourself in a fetus position, because sometimes when you describe how you feel, I see you in a fetus position. So that's an interesting one that gives insight for you, and for me, for you. See what's going around, try to see it in my eyes and see how my body reacts, what comes up emotionally, beautiful. Imagining, visualizing helps me because it's distance but still close. Beautiful, beautiful. Valerie, it's beautiful, and I really like the insight that you gave me about you holding yourself and that you're in a fetal position. So it's sort of you recognizing that feeling of still not feeling in your power and your strength. Because even though you're a fetus and you're in the fetal position, I see that we're at our greatest place of being between the worlds, the spirit world and the physical world, and that we're so in line with truth. It feels like safety when I'm like that. Beautiful. But I want us to start to feel large and feel you aligned with your inner power. So we're going to keep working with that. You gave me a lot of insight to you on, for me on you. Beautiful. So I want you to start seeing that, and that's okay, that comfort, but I want you to start to come into your light, and body movement and how we hold ourselves is so interesting to me. So closing feels safe and secure, yes, but I want your light to radiate and for you to shine, and for you to be in your power and your light, which is coming from being open. If you look at anybody in the Olympics, whenever they win anything, soccer, sports, boom, when they're happy and they're excited, they're out there, their body, they're dancing like Morgan said, and their bodies are open. And it's that fetal position, that closed when we're sad and we're not connected with our light. So even though you see yourself in that fetal position, which I would expect because you're in the womb, it to me gives me insight to how you have evolved and conditioned in this world. And we want to start to see when you're in that fetus that you see the baby's light and knowing and clarity. Valerie, beautiful. To me, when I was born, it felt chaotic. Being standing, born alive is unsafe. Beautiful. And you gave me that hint in the way that you described it. So that's beautiful. That's the conditioning that we want to poke out. Get that cookie cutter, till you realize, oh my God, life isn't personal. This started in the womb. How is this personal? This is me actually detangling from my life journey to be aligned with my light. So that's so insightful. Valerie, good. You gave me the 2 hearts. Beautiful. Morgan, for me, it looks like sense deprivation, but my mother had traumas too, so she transferred to me sadly, but I chose to change this and become my healed self. Beautiful, Morgan, beautiful. And what I would suggest to you, that's wonderful that you recognize that you took it on from the womb and that you realize that there was sensory deprivation. So, and it's actually what you are describing with CPTSD. I don't know what the C stands for, but the PTSD, the CTBSD. And that's what you described in all of your texts about feeling overly sensory. You said those words, and now you're saying sense deprivation. So usually you see things yins and yangs, the opposite happens. So when you have sensory deprivation, then it becomes overstimulated or vice versa. So in the beginning you were under deprived, you weren't in alignment, then you had to become overstimulated to start to heal and to come into your alignment. So fantastic. And then you said to me and to us, she transferred it to me sadly. At one point, Morgan, I don't want it to be sad. I just want the compassion of the human journey, of the fascination of the human journey, the interest of the human journey, the scientific element of it, the engineering element of it, the fact that like, ooh, this is interesting. Cause and effect, law of attraction, yin and yang, that this is much more than we realize. There is purpose. I am purpose. Life is purpose. There's so much more that's going on than my mom transferring trauma to me. This really is about the life journey and the beauty of our life journey and us really being aligned with our inner power and our light. And there's much more meaning. So who is it that said to me earlier that they want, I think it was you, Valerie, that said, well, I want to feel it. Well, when you start to realize that Morgan picked up from his mom and his mom picked up from her mom and her mom picked it up maybe from her dad, and you see all this life, you say there's something more going on than us just living. And that's how you start to see purpose in life and feel the truth. Feel the truth. It's from moments of this that we start to get our aha, that we realize, ooh, this is fascinating. Wonderful. Rachel, my parents were so protective and loving. Part of my new chaos is losing them both and feeling exposed. Rachel, beautiful. And that's the yin and the yang that I was feeling. And I don't know how close that you lost them, if you lost them at the same time or not. We've been talking a lot about loss, and last week we actually talked about dealing with loss, and we talk about death a lot and how it feels on the physical. It's a big spiritual, and you've got to lean into your spiritual when you're dealing with the physical loss, and it's real and the sensations are real. So really feeling, honoring, looking at your key lime pie and looking at all your bodies and how you feel and honoring it. within 5 years of each other, which is very short. Just honor, and recognize that it's time for you to be in alignment with your inner power, that they're here on the spiritual, and I don't know whether you have children, and that you're here to be that light for that next generation, but just really enjoy that journey. Like I said, we talk a lot about and have so many inspirations. Were you on last week? I don't know if you were on last week. Fantastic. Any other sharing? Does everybody feel good? The lawnmower is gone. I can't believe it was just there for the meditation. Perfect. Yeah. So Rachel, was it helpful? Should I have remembered that you were I should have remembered. Was it helpful talking about dealing with the loss and feeling into it? Like, is there a higher sense of calibration with it now and understanding and love? So interesting that we keep coming. Well, because death is the ultimate lack of control. Death is the ultimate lack of connection. Death is the ultimate recognizing that you really have to believe and understand that life has a purpose. It's one of the biggest teachers. And I want my loved ones to live forever. I want my loved ones to live forever. I feel that too. I feel the same way. But they are. So it really takes to leaning into that spiritual level. It really, really, really takes to leaning into that one to deal with that physical loss. Andrea, when I visualize coming out of the womb, I always feel my father was disappointed not having a son first. Andrea, fantastic. And so how does it feel to be a woman? So how does it feel for you to be a daughter? Has that impacted your worthiness? I think it's awesome. It's awesome. Oh my God, so awesome. There is a lot of, so much, it's so interesting, the societal male-female thing, and now with all the different genders and gender identification, it's fascinating to me. Fascinating. For me, I was a girl, but my parents had 2 boys and they were ready for a girl. That's what Manal is. Manal is attainment. So they named me Manal because they attained the girl that they were looking for, Manal. And that's where Mattain comes from, attaining your authentic life and expression. I took the word attain, which is the meaning of Manal, and I put the M in front of it. So I get that, Andrea. So have you deconstructed your key lime pie with what that felt with in terms of your worthiness, Andrea? Rachel, that was to Rachel, at Andrea. This was to Andrea. Okay, Cynthia. Life has purpose, and this is what we learn in death. Did I hear that correctly? Yes, Cynthia, you heard that. Beautiful. Life is purpose. Our life is our purpose. And death teaches us life's purpose. Death teaches us to be satisfied, to value our bodies, to value our health, to value our loved ones, to value our life, to be happy to be living. Our death teaches us to go inside rather than look outside. Death teaches us that the external, our assets, our home, our money, our cars, doesn't matter. What matters is love and relationships and people and connection. Death teaches us to live. Yes. How does that feel? How does that feel? Andrea, I love being a woman, but when I was living in the Middle East, I wished I was a boy as they had more freedom. Yeah, Andrea, there is a really interesting thing about I'm a Middle Eastern woman. My parents are Egyptian. There's something really interesting about Middle Eastern, the boys and the girls. And even though boys have more freedom, girls actually are given more in some ways. Like, it's sort of distorted sometimes, but being a girl sometimes has a lot of its values in the Middle Eastern culture. But there is an aspect. When I was younger, I wanted to be a boy so I could be more free. So, and I always tell you guys that freedom is one of my biggest teachers. Cynthia, this is absolutely beautiful, Manal. Death teaches us to live. Death teaches us to live. If you want to live, if we live perpetually, we lose the beauty and the taste, the sensations of life. Death teaches us to live. Death teaches us to love. Death teaches us. Death teaches us. Andrea, freedom is my goal. We'll get there together. We'll all get there together. Freedom, worthiness, and love. Happiness, inner peace, whatever that word might be to you. We will get there together. Freedom is my goal. Freedom is my goal too. Freedom tastes so good. And it's all internal. It's all internal. It is all internal. Everything. The way that we project it, the way we feel it, the way we do it, it's all internal. Everything that we want in life is within us. Everything we want within life is within us. We just have to connect with it. It's always been in us. It has always been in us. It's so fascinating. The more I not know, but feel that truth, because today, one of the essence of today is about feeling. The more I feel the truth, the more empowering it is to recognize I want to feel my truths. I want to feel the truth of unconditional freedom. I want to feel the truth of unconditional worthiness. And I want to feel unconditionally love. And it's in me. It is in me. Just not to work through the kinks. I got to work through the human design. I got to work through life's conditioning. I got to just work through it and enjoy that process. Yeah? Yes? Yes? Who wants to? I just said who have to work through it. You know that I meant play through it. Play through it. Have fun through it. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. I'm enjoying it. Okay, who's enjoying the process? Who's enjoying their growth and expansion? Who's recognizing that it's the fun of the human journey? Truly, truly. Who's starting to realize that there's some fun to this? Truly, 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 truly. Who's starting to realize that this is fun? Who's starting to take it on from a point of an excitement? Who's starting to realize that this is really actually fantastic? Cynthia, beautiful. It feels so wonderful. Feeling the truth of the divine enlightenment is transformative in me right now. Beautiful. Yes, it is beautiful. Beautiful. Andrea, yes, a fun dress rehearsal. Fantastic. And she's got that clown, so I do see the irony in what you're saying, Andrea. Oh my God, so funny. That clown is so funny. Valerie, not yet. Okay, fantastic. Valerie, not yet. Then Valerie, I'm going to ask you, what's in the way? What's in the way? What is in the way? What is in the way? And I'm going to tell that little fetal girl to open herself up and say, hey, what's in the way? I think I gave you a hint, a big hint. Rachel, I am excited, especially when I see where I come from. Beautiful. Gary, most days I'm more optimistic. Gary, fantastic. And today is a most day? Is today a most day? Gary, I just want to go like this. You know what, everybody, wherever you are right now, just go like this. Just go like this. Just everybody, wherever you are, just open yourself up. Just open yourself up. See where you were sitting before and open yourself up. Oh my God. Can you feel a difference? Just open yourself up and just put your heart out there and just open yourself up. And your throat, just open yourself up. Valerie, I think resistance, because it does feel like work and it's exhausting. Okay, Valerie, fantastic. And can we shift it? I know I'm not trying to intellectualize this, but have you created the intention for it to feel like play? For anybody who's not excited about it, can create an opening. Let's create an opening by creating the intention for it to feel like play. Can we create an intention for us to enjoy and have pleasure in the journey? Who's ready to create an intention? If you're not truly feeling that like, okay, I get this now. This is just life and I'm just going to master this life and I've got a community to support me and this is just fun and there's so many things that I can do. If you're not feeling that, who wants to create the intention to feel that? Because it starts with intention. Yes, when I'm here with all of you, it feels like exhaustion, but more like connection, and it's interesting. Feels less like, okay, fantastic. Intention. Valerie, I think we feel similarly. Beautiful. Jaya has the intention. Andrea, yes, I like to feel it more. Fantastic. Gary, Valerie, intention. Are we going to create the intention? Let's create the intention for us to create an invitation. Okay, listen to these words. They're very specifically chosen. Okay, they're not random. And I'm going to be more specific about the word imagine. I'm going to work through it, Gary. I'm going to write it down. But listen to these words. Create the intention. There should not be resistance in the word intention. For the invitation, there should not be resistance with the word invitation. To see the play in growth and expansion. So it's designed to be a minimally resistant phrase. Is it true? Is it a minimally resistant phrase? Okay, I'm going to say it again. Create the intention for the invitation for growth and expansion to feel like play and empowering and exciting and fun and liberating and worthy and happy and in alignment. How does that feel? How does that feel? Does that feel resistance free and who's up for it? Got it. Gary got it. Okay, let's create the intention together. Let's create the intention. I create the intention for the invitation to grow and expansion, to be fun and play. Fantastic. Cynthia's got it too. Okay, fantastic. Can you guys feel that shift? So what we always want to do is try to say everything in the most empowering way with the least resistance, because if there's resistance, it's not going to work. So whatever we got to do to decrease the resistance, If I had to put a few more things in there to decrease the resistance, I would, but I think intention and invitation was enough. Good? Okay, good. Okay, guys, I'm feeling complete. Does anybody want to say anything? Does anything? Gary, you didn't answer me whether today is a good day or not. Is today a good day or not? Is today a good day or not? Is today a good day or not? Everybody, is today a good day? Is today a good day? Today, one of my favorite email phrases that I wrote in most of my emails is happy day. Like happy day. I actually just like happy Monday, happy Tuesday, happy Wednesday, happy day, happy day. Gary says, yes, quit it. Or Val, quit it. Beautiful. Val, what's Valerie supposed to quit? Gary, you didn't tell me if today's a good day or not a good day. Is today a good day? Cynthia, yes, it's a good day, moment, and new beginning. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. We only have now. 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 I'm channeling my inner Eckhart Tolle. Now. 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 At 5 times speed. If I was really doing Eckhart Tolle, I'd be speaking much slower. Okay, now. We only have now. So let's live our nows. Our nows. Every now. And so anytime you see yourself thinking about the past, it's like, ooh, I only have the now. Do I want to waste it on that? Maybe yes, because there's a lot of resistance. Let me figure out what that resistance is and kiss it goodbye. Let me understand that resistance, start to understand what it's trying to tell me. Oh my God, I've spent years ignoring that. I'm not going to ignore it anymore. I'm going to look at its face and say, I see you, resistance. I get you. I understand you. Now I'm going to be in the now. And even seeing it is being present. When you see it, you're being present. Gary, it's improving. Yes, it's getting better. Fantastic. And look, everybody said we're going to wait for Gary for the meditation. We are not going forward. We're waiting for Gary. Did you see that, Gary? Everybody stood up for you. It's like, no, Manal, we're waiting for Gary. Did you see? Andrea, waking up thinking I don't want to miss Manal, and I managed to come in the end and get your words and charisma. I feel so blessed, even with lawnmower. The lawnmower. I'm like, oh my goodness. Anyway, the lawnmower. And I was like feeling really into it. And then it kept distracting me. And I'm like, Manal, stay present. There's one thing about the lawnmower, but if you can't stay present, you're making it worse. I'm like, do I end it? No, not going to end it. Okay, we got to keep going with it. So what do you do? So I tried to make it like a meditative in my ear, but it was too noisy to be meditative. Like, Manal, come on. It's not even a pleasurable. It was like, like anyway, that was all the monkey mind that was going on in my mind. Okay, so today is a good day for a good day to be a good day. Everybody's sending love. Gary, fantastic. Well, you guys are wonderful. Okay, so this is what I have on the calendar of events. The calendar of events. Andrea, it made me feel a bit guilty. I didn't mow enough. It sounds like you don't have any neighbors to call you on it, so it's okay. So upcoming inspirations on 12/9, which is, I believe, Friday. I believe it's Friday. Overcoming anxiety about health. I'm really intrigued to see where we're going to go with on that one. I know what my preamble is going to be, but I'm really interested to see what we collectively come up with and what the focus is and where we liberate from that. So really intrigued about that one. 12/13. So today we were in the mind. So today we focused, even though we jumped all over, guys. We jumped all over. You guys know we spent a lot of time in emotion because the mind is actually transposing a lot of the emotional mind that we repressed. So today we were focused, today's topic at least, was on the mind. Friday we go to health, the physical. Actually, no, not true. Overcoming anxiety about the health. About health. So it's actually, anxiety is a fear that we don't, so it's emotional body and physical body. Interesting, didn't even notice that. I was like, oh, it's about the physical body. No, we're talking about the emotions about our physical body. Okay, 12/13, which I believe is a week from today at 9:30. This is going to be Laughter is a Tool for Healing. Very excited about that. Bring in your jokes, bring in your clown faces. Andrea's prepared for it. 12:15, which is Thursday at 1 o'clock, manifesting the life you desire. Manifesting the life you desire. I'm excited about that one. I always love talking about that. And then 12:19, which is Monday at 9 a.m. Andrea, she's prepared for laughter as a tool for health. And 12:19 at 9 a.m. Not enough time. Mary Alice had asked about something about time, and I'm not sure if she was alluding to it, but when I started to write a topic about time, I figured a lot of the judgment we hold about time is not having enough time in the day. I think I wrote actually in the day, and then I was going to say in the day, in the week, in the month, in the year, plug in your word here, and then it got too long for a title, then I just called it not enough time in the day, and I felt like a day was symbolic of other blocks of time. Anyway, you guys, I do transgress. Sometimes I just go blah, 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 blah. I hope you guys don't mind the blah, 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 blah. 2 hours later, and she's still blah, 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 even though she's trying to converge. Oh my God, Gary, I like jokes. Gary, you're good at jokes. We're ready for your jokes. We are ready. Okay, fantastic. So any other topics that anybody wants in the future? I have a list of them. December, I'm going to take some time off. We're going away for the holidays. I haven't decided. I'll start to reschedule. I think December 19th might be my last one in December. Not 100% sure yet. I'll know between now and next week whether or not we'll do any more in December. But before, for sure, in the new year, we will be going strong again. I do have different topics, but if there is a topic that anybody would like, let me know. I just took out my handy dandy notebook, Blues Clues. I always have a nod for Blues Clues. He must really have impacted my children's lives in a positive way that I refer to him so often. Sort of embarrassed about that. But any topics that anybody would like, anything anybody would like to say, are we ready to say goodbye? So long, farewell, my love. Really, I don't know if it's you all or if it's the lag. Andrea with hearts and purple rose. Thank you, Andrea. Topics, concerns, desires, questions, shares, inspirations, exasperations, love. No hate. No hate. Bad lag, right, Gary? There's a lag. There's a lag. I feel like there's a lag. Some days it's like boom, boom, boom. But it says excellent. It says excellent. I got like the little Wi-Fi with all the lines. It says excellent. Didn't go to poor today. I get a lot of data coming on here. Andrea, every topic is great with you in the group. Yes, Andrea. It's so fascinating. And you know what? We've done the mind before, and it was different today than it was before. I think this is the 3rd or 4th time to do the mind, and every time it's so different. That's what fascinates me. It's like not what I'm saying, it's what you're all saying, and what comes to the surface, and what resonates with everybody, and then how we heal. And I don't like usually wearing the word heal, because heal indicates something broken, but how we align to our power, our inner strength, our beauty. We are amazing. We rock. You guys, we rock. If anybody in any way, trusting your knowing, Rachel writing it down, has any doubt, let me remind you all, we rock. We rock. Trusting your inner knowing. We've done that before. We have done it, but we'll do it again. It's always a favorite. Trusting. And anytime anybody asks, it means it's time. And every time it comes out differently, Rachel. I wrote it in my list. Trusting your knowing. I enjoy it. I do enjoy trusting your knowing. I love clarity. I love the more I'm starting to get clarity and just have clarity. And I love when I can have clarity for others. Again, I don't push my clarity. One of my girlfriends was really sick, and she was like, I have pink eye, and she would send me a picture, and my ex was an optometrist and didn't look right. So I said, I think you need to be looked at. And she said, no, and she sent me all these things, Wikipedia, blah, blah, blah. So I said, okay, I backed off. And then next day again, she sent me a picture. I'm like, does not look right. And I'm like, da-da-da-da-da, was texting, and she's like, no, blah, 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 blah. And then I think on the 4th day, I waited for, every day I was like, okay, if you're comfortable. But so on the 5th day or one of the days, I said to her, I called her up and I said, listen, enough. I don't think I said enough that way. That's how I felt. I said to her, I really think you need to go see an OD. And I listed all of the reasons, or ophthalmologist. I said, an OD and ophthalmologist. And I said, da, 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 da. And I really went, and she resisted. And she said, okay. And then she got in, and then she's like, you were right. And I'm like, listen, I don't like to push my clarity on people because I like to meet people where they are, but I couldn't keep watching you send me pictures of your eyes coming like this because it just didn't feel like safe. So I felt like I needed to, but I'm like, I already have my children who don't listen to me. I don't need friends that don't listen to me. So I said to her, listen, if you want to touch my clarity, when I tell you something, I'd advise you just like listen rather than push on me, because I don't push people because I meet them where they are. And she laughed and she said, can you push me? I said, no, I already have my children. More children. You guys can tell me if I should push or not push, but I'm really enjoying having clarity for other people and just knowing everything's going to be okay. Don't worry. And just seeing that clarity just sort of like amplify and seeing that sort of come into theirs. Oh my God, Andrea, how to access your inner clown. It sounds like you and Gary were collaborating on the side to get that one. How to access your inner clown. You know I could do that as a topic. It wouldn't be too far. Oh my God, so funny. Access your inner clown. Oh my God, especially if I use that emoji. That is such a scary emoji. Clowns are actually scary, guys. Clowns are scary. Access your inner clown. I laugh about it all day. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Anything else, everybody? Feeling complete, feeling whole, feeling aligned, feeling good, feeling happy, feeling perfect. And not by perfect, I don't mean perfect as in being perfect, but everything is just perfect, just the way it is. Andrea, I watched a movie that was so bad it was hilarious. Oh my goodness. I'm not going to say the name of the Netflix series, but it was highly recommended. Christmas in California. Oh, Andrea said hers. I'm not going to say mine. I'm not going to have it out there. But it was terrible. So I watched it because it was highly recommended. And I think we were fast forwarding because we wanted to know what was happening, but I'm like, I can't watch this anymore. It was so dramatic. So I laughed so hard I was crying. Oh my God, maybe I need to watch it then, Andrea. I love those that laugh so hard I was crying. Okay, I'll try it. I'll go for it. I will do it. Oh my goodness, fantastic. Okay, everybody, I will see you all on Friday. Join Attaining Your Authentic Life. If you're not on there, that's where you need to be. Be there, be square. And those of you that are on there, let's talk some more. Attaining Your Authentic Life. I can't even spell authentic life. Boom! Come on there, follow, keep the conversation going. Love life. Be happy. Honor your mind. Your minds are fantastic and it's doing so much for all four bodies. Honor it, love it, enjoy it, ride with it, go with it. You guys are all fantastic. I love you all. I will see you soon. My love, always. Don't forget to go to my website, sign up for my newsletters, and follow me. Instagram, Facebook, InsightTimer, and YouTube.